Turn to page 7 of the prayer book, please. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings. To you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protector's heart to tip of this fresh, pure white heap curd like cloud, all of Tsongkhapa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted 3 vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life as senseful. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Lobsangkhpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Migmet se wei te chen reisig, dwi me kim pei wang po jam pel yang, du pung ma lu jom se san wei dak, gang chen ke pe su gyen Tsongkhapa, Lobsangkhpa pe zabla so wadem. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted 3 jewels. Thus have I heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the 5 aggregates also. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element, and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, and no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra, the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra, the perfection of wisdom, is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasongate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis. Tayata om gate gate paragate parasongate bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity such as the four maras be stopped, may they become non-existent, may they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, shante kure soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, free from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here right now. Saji Peki Jung Xing Mei To Tram Ri Rab Ling Zi Ni De Gem Pa Di Sangye Zingdu Mete ki chapa tu so idam guru ratna mandala kam niryatayami Chongda Songi Chomnala Jagdu Padu Dagdu Kapsuchi Dagi Cho Nyenke Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Sho Chongde Songi Chomnala Jagdu Padu Dagdu Kapsuchi Dagi Cho Nyenke Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Sho Chongde Songi Chomnala Jagdu Padu Dagdu Kapsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonam Ki Drola Penchir Sange Drupa Sho
Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys? Good? Good? So? Okay? Which answer? Say good, right? Even if we're not very good, we say good. It's just habit. Anyway, very wonderful. We all come together. Pray together, meditation together. Especially this month, you already know, it's Vesak Day. I think Vesak Day is what language? Sanskrit, Pali. The Tibetan called Sakadawa. You know, this special month for Buddhism, because Buddha has well, of course he has so many dates, but here especially we count 12 dates. Is correct? Dates. There were one of the biggest 3 dates. Same month, also same day, not just 1 year, but like yesterday. Yesterday is full moon, the fourth month of Tibetan calendar, 4th. It's correct, 4th. Therefore, the Buddhism yesterday is very, especially yesterday also we count whole this month, very special month, because we believe Buddha rebirth, and also he become, enlightened and passing away. Therefore, we believe, Buddhism believe also this month multiply month. If you do any virtuous actions, it become multiply. If you do 1, become 100,000. But if you do bad things also, multiply. Like if you get angry 1 time, you get married in negative karma to 100,000 times. If you recite 1 mala, 1 mantra, Om Mani Padme, become 100,000. If you are like thinking about compassion, loving kindness, bodhicitta, so only 1 moment, you become 100,000. Because this is a special time, special years, special occasion. we believe like that. Also, I think you guys see all the Buddhism, different cultures, they celebrate this year, no, this month, maybe some different dates, they celebrate, you can see. Even the President Obama also here, they recognize to Vesak Day for Buddhism. It's nice, Like he said, congratulations for Buddhism. It's also nice. Anyway, therefore, basically, like this month, the Tibetans try to become vegetarian, try to more other things, try to be more patient, try to how much they can. Like yesterday, like Tibetan community also, they come here, we read this text. This is the commentary of the Buddha's teaching. That's very wonderful. We study also this text. We know holding this text, but the meaning, whatever we study also in the text, there are 200 volumes. This composed India masters. Here 108 volumes. This is composed Buddha. That book is commentary from that. Do you see the books? It's same. Therefore, we should read all the books there. I think you guys read like that much book, right? Westerners read a lot of books. You guys like very big memory card, memory card. But you read the Buddhism book and like usually basic other books, it's a little different. The purpose, read the Buddhism says, read or study is, try to practice. Try to, you get something meaning. Therefore, then we say, why we have to study, why have to practice, why have to go to temple, why have to go to church? We say, why we have to go like that? Like, we have two major things. We wish to all the problems to go away, right? Small problem, big problem, middle problem. We wish to get all good things for us, right? No one think I like to live bit suffer. I want a little bit problem, right? We have already enough. Therefore, those people who go to temple, church, they believe we go to church or temple, we get some advice, also we get some blessing from them. Therefore, these things we have to think about. If I go to temple or church, did I get blessing? Did they take on all the problems? Not really, but you get a lot of different advice from that. You can learn so many different things. Then you can practice that. Then they will take away your problems. Like example, when you have some problem, you want to tell something. After you told someone, then you say, oh, now I feel better. Right? This is your experience, right? This is not the person taking out your problem, but he or she, you explain, describe what's your problems, then he or she listen that, then they also give some different advice. Then you say, oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Then you feel it, you accept like that, then you feel better. Therefore, we have problems also two, mental problem and the physical problem. The physical problem is, when you got sick, something, you go to the doctor, they give some medicine. You get hungry, you get food. You're tired, rest. You body. But mental problem is not easy. The biggest powerful problem, our mental problem. Therefore, since until now, like science, they find to so many different methods to, what is that? Solve the problems, like material problems, physical problems, right? But mental, they couldn't find. Like you say, oh, I couldn't sleep. Sometimes mentally, some sick is different. Someone's not happy, then they go to doctor. The doctor gives medicine. This is, they, how you say, shut down the channels. The medicine really doesn't help for your mental. Like they shut down all the different channels, then you don't feel. Therefore, mental problem is fix our own method. We learn something, then we practice, put into practice that. It's really improvement. Improve. Therefore, this takes day, years, even eons. Not easy to finish 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 1 week, 2 weeks. Therefore, we should have to pay more attention to our mind, our thoughts. Because our thoughts, our mind bring all the sufferings. Right? But this is not easy to accept. So what they're talking about? I didn't do bad things myself. We don't accept. But like everyone has all the time experience, like angry. Since you get angry, your mind's not happy. Right? Who angry? You angry, not you angry. No, you not. I'm not talking about you guys. That's fine. We get angry. We get problem. It's true. Then how much we get more angry? Then we are not happy. Like this, we have experience, right? Those things, Buddha cannot bless him. God cannot bless him. We believe. You have to be patient. When you be a patient person, you're not angry. Since you not get angry, you not get problems or sufferings from the angry. Do you see? Do you believe that? Yeah, maybe I don't believe like that. Because he did, she did. Now these things, takes more time. First, we need to control our mind. Right now, our mind says, I like to do that. He said, okay, yes, boss. Man says, oh, I don't like that. Oh, yes, boss. Right? Do you see? Mind, whatever he or she thinks, we have to follow that. The mind, some angry mind says, oh, he or she, someone doesn't like you. He says something. He says, yes, boss. Then you write something. Right? Do you like that? Do you guys do that? Follow like that? Mind's very powerful. Your mind thinks this, I like that, then you feel like. Your mind thinks this is not like. That doesn't change. But our mind. Therefore, we've taught to look at meditation. Come down. I'm not, you guys not come down, but basically, it's not change one day. Study, then put into your practice. To think about that. Otherwise, we study whole books, like, if we don't put into practice, it doesn't work. you know. Therefore, try to identify our mind. It's very important, okay? Okay, now we do a little bit of meditation. Everyone likes meditation, right? Then too long meditation, you feel sleep. This is also one of the good result, because you sleep, you feel like calm down. Otherwise, you are not very calm. You're nervous. Get sleep. Right? Okay. Everyone think, like peace. Today, like we try to meditate for peace. Okay. Think about our friend, or if you like meditate for Buddha, you can take like Buddha, real person, Buddha, friend of us, looking for us. Then around us also, like all same things with us. Like thinking, beautiful place, beautiful environment, beautiful people. Like there's no problem. You don't see, you don't hurry, you don't think any problems. Like peace, a calm down mind. Try to like you feel peace, like feel comfortable. Because you're a very peaceful place, your mind be able to peace. Like feel relaxed. You don't hurt, you don't see any problems, any bad things. Try to you feel like holy place, a very happy place. Then you breathe. Slowly, slowly breathe out. Slowly, slowly breathe in. Just count. Breathe out. In. Okay. Like that. If you can feel like something, try to like slowly, slowly. Like there's so many different ways meditation, okay? But always try to calm your mind, identify your mind. When you like do meditation like that, you can see your mind, maybe walking around. Just check. Maybe something your mind stays in place. Just leave that. If you do like that, then more your meditation is very big change. When all the problems we Buddhism believe also come from our mind, but the problems go away also our mind. Like big, what's that? Web? Yeah, come from oceans. This also come from oceans, but they when calm down also go down to ocean. Right? Ocean will get angry. Did ocean get angry? No, right. Ocean gets, the wind blew, then big problems, right? But the wind go away, the water being go down. Therefore, our angry, jealous attachment also all come from our mind. Then we are not happy or the stop problems. But if your mind be calm down, then we go away. Okay? Do you believe? Because the reason, because we are not angry person, right, all the time. We are not attachment person. We are not jealous person all the time. Our mind is not nature of the jealous, nature of the problems. Our mind is pure. But all the negative thoughts, that stuck our mind. Then our real mind we come to see. Like, you guys maybe never wear the very dirty clothes. Like, dirt. Is it dirt? Especially here. Sometimes you wear 1 week, you can some black hair. Because this nature is like white. She has a white shirt. The nature, the white shirt is white, but maybe she can wear this, maybe 1 month. Then you can see the dirt, because the dirt just stuck there. Stuck there. But there's no nature there. You can wash. Right? Like that. Therefore, our mind is very pure, but all the negative thoughts stuck there. You can wash. How can you wash? We can put super duper strong soup? No. Super duper soup is compassion, loving kindness, peaceful mind. This is a super duper, soup to wash our mind. Soup. Oh, no, soap. Oh, sorry. Go to Chinese restaurant, egg dog soup, hot and soft soup, not like that. Soap, okay, soap. But you guys, when I'm talking about the clothes, you know that I'm not talking about the soup you do it. Okay, we have to put more soap. Soup. So complicated. We have to wash our mind. Therefore, like example, the dirt's negative thoughts, like angry, attachment, jealous, hatred. This is the dirt. Then, wash. In order to wash that, we need to put special soap. Therefore, our mind, the soap is the compassion, loving kindness, bodhicitta, calm down mind, calm body. And this kind of real soup. Soup. Therefore, we have to put more. How is that? Soup? Soap. It's correct? Soap. Oh, it scares me. When I couldn't say first one, then I become more worse. To try again, then complete. When I talk to someone, they say, what is it again? Then I try more. Then I become more worse. for what you do. Like that, Therefore, meditation, try to study slowly, slowly. I always say, don't push too much, also not stop. Like, when we have a big pot, we're making the hot water. Maybe halfway you turn off, then you stop. Then the water becomes cold, right? Then you have to start again. You are the halfway, maybe 2% of the way, 3% you have, turn off. Then you have to turn again. Therefore, if you don't stop, always small fire. Just keep it then. Slowly. It won't be really hard, right? Therefore, practice also like that. Meditation, slowly. Day by day, not stop. Practice has also no vacation. If you do vacation, then big problem. And you guys think people do their vacation for the practice? Therefore, sometimes we say we don't have time. Usually we do have time. We have 24 hours. For other things we spend 24 hours. How about we can practice just 2 hours? Then still we have 22 hours. We can do other things. So I have to sleep 8 hours. Then I have to go walk 8 hours. Then how many hours? 16 hours. Then 8 more hours, right? Now I have to spend my family. Oh yes. But if people make time, they have time. People doesn't make time. Time doesn't make us to give karo. Time not think about us. Never. If you think I have no time, you have no time all the time. We have to make time. Like daily, okay. I have to do like that. You guys very good, right? Then doesn't you stop there? Then you become, why it's stuck here? Right? Sometimes also this is also not really good. One hand good, you think very organized. Okay, this first, second, third. But sometimes also this is not, if you are not very open, I'm not talking about you guys, the person not very open person, very calm man, then you stuck here, the road's not good, maybe the construction person walking here, you stuck there, then you become crazy. What happened this? Why? I want to do that. I have to do this. Then you stuck there, then you become boom. Therefore, it's okay. Try to best. Try to how much you can. Step by step. Okay? Don't think I have no time. If you make time, you have time. Yeah, like that, okay? Okay, now we're going to this text. This text is, like all the books commentary, all the Buddha's India Master's teachings commentary book, all the meanings here. And 다 사지 좀 되게 그 손 안에 다 제외 준비 제 손에서 다니 요래서 제외 준비 전부 손세.
So we'll start now from this book, The Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand. So in the Buddha's teaching, actually, you can combine all the teachings into 3 categories. The teachings, for the small scopes, the beings or the practitioners of the small scope, practitioners of the medium scope, and practitioners of the great scopes.
And it 다 나중에 세단으로 제바이나 아 센다다 심하니 남네 근데 세심아 또 되는 예 다때 주보로 되 이게 제가 중요해서 나고 그래서.
So in order to be a Buddhist practice, it has to be done for at least for the sake of the future lives, right? So if you do anything for this life, it doesn't even become a Dharma practice. And so anything you do, at the very least, for the sake of the future life, then it becomes a small scopes practice.
And Jewan Rin said the Karela and the Tangazu Nambi Gyawang is the king of the Reza, that Jawa Shamat Langa Yabona Tego Pegamudu, Koala to Koala Madrona, and it's Zombaji, Tsongkhapa Yachu, Martin, and young Pato Chibachano, that Tsongkhapa bed corner, somebody taco, Stedo, Kajim, Koala Tando, Tella, and Jewan Rin is
then you become a little better by thinking not only it's good enough to be free from the suffering of the future lives, but not just free from the sufferings of the lower realm, but also want to be free from the entire sufferings of the cyclic existence. So it's like being put into prison, and then you come out, and then there's still more possibility to go back into the prison. So it would be better if you don't have to go to prison at all, rather than coming out again, to go back in, right? So coming out again is nothing if you have to go back again. But if you don't have to go back in at all, that would be much better. So it's thinking that not only being free from the suffering of the lower realm, but also wanting to be free from the entire suffering of the cyclic existence. And so with that thought, when you do the practice, then it becomes the scope, or the medium scope, or the medium capable being.
And they tang Arachun Court and Recommended, Semje Tamche Koala Tango, Dumale Tango, Sanje Combatoko, those something, something,
so just like you think about yourself, wanting to be free from all the suffering, then you think for others as well. Like me, others want to be free from suffering also. So it's not sufficient just to think about myself alone. There are all these numberless beings, who are also going through all sorts of sufferings. And so I must do something to release, not only me, but all these numberless beings, from the sufferings. And so with that thought, and then you develop this wish, wanting to become fully enlightened, to benefit all sentient beings, then that becomes the great scope. So those are the three, scopes of the beings, three capable beings, and so all the teachings of the Buddha is included in there. So the first, the small scope, where we want to be free from the sufferings of the lower realm. Where is the lower realm? So we have to think about that.
Do you know where the lower realm? Maybe Africa? Maybe under the ground? Yeah, where's hungry goes? Yeah, that's good, yeah. Good thinking. Then Khensur said the third Rinpoche sound
so we should not be thinking a lower realm very far away from where we are now. And the future life as well is not that far away. So if we breathe out and unable to breathe in, then that's the future life already.
Right?
So easy.
Okay? Sometimes, you don't heard Buddhism so many times, there's a little bit stages. They talk about a little bit death. We don't heard to death, right? But we talk about all the time.
And so it's not trying to scare people. So it's just like preparing for the the future, right? If we know what's going to happen in the future, then we can prepare ourselves, right? If we don't know and we are not prepared, and it's going to happen anyway, then we are not. When we're not prepared, then it will not be good for us, right? So it's just like for your old age, most of you, for your old age, you have saved some money, right? For your old age.
When you job, parts of it. Anyway, they check. They say, okay, when you become retirement, you need something. Then you say, okay, I'll pay a little bit. Then Gandu Gengo charge Yoa, retirement change Yoa, then it was in there Yoa, and so Hako, that can the moment we were then, and then Gandu dig at Tatitan check was.
So because we foresee, the old age, the retirement, and not being able to work hard, and needing to depend on others and so forth. So we see that, and that's why we prepare for now, right?
Right? Like you can the scholars. They when they find some food, when they what's that the food that they're looking for. Right now they fool that they think is future. Then they hide underground. The next time he didn't find you can see that the schools schools pay
So they're very smart, right? They think about future, they hide the food. But the sad news is that they don't remember where they hide it.
Right? You can see they never find. Some animals they can find there's some smart where they put. Today the mandu thamil with mobile some dangyors. The middle in the same dangyors.
So therefore we all think about the future, let alone human beings, even the animals think about future.
Today the mandu Nambega can I hit na men over Yandu Jewa land or some of Canada.
So in Buddhism, what we believe is that there is a future life, right? So when you die, you will just not disappear, you'll be reborn again.
Today, Tango Canada take Karo Chancel Kungarios, the Jewish member of Kajino Kungari, Lugarios. Rebecca's on the Tango was. Although Michi don't matter, Omar was on the Tango was.
So most of us, we don't see, right? We don't see what happens to the person after he or she dies. Then, so therefore we can't say that, there's a rebirth or something like that. So what kind of proof is there? What kind of logical reason is there to prove that there is a future life? So we might say that, it doesn't exist because nobody has seen it, nobody can prove it, or nobody has taken a picture of it, and so nobody can see it. And again, the reason just we don't, just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there, right? There are so many things that exist, but we don't see. So just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So if each person have their own different, thoughts, right? So if there are 20 people, there are 20 different thoughts. So nobody sees that.
Right? And then
So scientists can't take picture of that part.
Tanda science part jagno was. Kodulaina ta symbol takro samsu part jagyo mares. Kanza diga samsu ten rotanga teni diga samsu rosagi zayo zadu ginjula teni sai zadu part jagyo sem kono part jagyo mares.
So nowadays they claim that they take the picture of people's thought, but it's not really the thought, it's the nerves, right? Nerves, from the person's way, from the pattern of the person's way of thinking, and then they make a diagram, and then with that, and they say this is how this person thinks, and that things like that.
The Nambegi Chunishan tate pe things about the Tara Momboy. Tanaganso Shipa in Bajanganso Pechima Pechetama Momboy.
And then according to Buddhism, there are so many different levels of mind. There are many different gross, subtle. So those that are obvious, that are and that are not obvious. There are so many different kind of minds. They are so subtle that we are not able to even, use them at the moment.
One of the Shiba to call it Kona Yoda cutting to one concert that Shiba was.
And so they are there, but it doesn't manifest, right? We are not able to utilize those minds, but they do manifest at the time when when the time comes.
Kanji, then Yena, Nanzo Suchi, Chaman, Togo, Rigo, Parjago,
And so that's the reason again, right? So just because you can't see it, you can't take a picture of that, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But if it goes against the logical reasoning, then we can think about that.
강제 들리다 간도 간다. 삼도다 칭도면 잠불라 semjian ram나 강데도 왔다. 뭐 ram나 semjian ram나 냐르긴 ram나 본 ram나 뭐도 왔어.
So in this world, you have to see so many different kind of creatures, right? Many different kinds of animals, just like the fish. How many different kind of fishes are there? Fish are there, right? So many that we don't even know how many there are.
근데 더도 같이 팩트리에서 콘도 빠져야 되는 말이었어. 콘도 즉 개왕 가마치네 야용 대응만 들리지는 같이 도저히 꼬라져 되겠어.
And so these creatures who are the beings, right? So the beings are not something that were manufactured by a factory. It is just like that, It's just not just started from there. They have their previous life. So they were born as that kind of person, that kind of being, right? As a fish, at a particular kind of fish. And before that, there was some kind of beings, and before that, there was some kind of different kind of beings.
근데 단단 가서 제사 단단 가서 요소가 내서 단단 가서 리지도 단대는 고외 내서라 그래서 고외 내 달리서 다 고대원에 가서 고대원에 가려고 했다. 그래서 개원한 사람들 때문에 그래서 리드라면서 말이야. 단단 가서 리드라다 고외 내서 와. 가르나 내 라모치는 요 말이야. 라모 레다 다 뇨모 되게 왕게 내 거한데 내가 말이야.
And so this basis, the existence that we have now, the existence, which we usually refers to the body, but not really just the body, but our whole existence as a person, right? As me, as you, that our existence is the place, of the cycling existence. So it's the place where we are born, where we in the previous life. And we were something else. Now it's this place on which we are born, and this is called the samsara, cyclic existence, samsara, because we have no freedom. We don't have a freedom to do this or do that, or don't have the freedom to choose what we want to have in our life. And so we had a few previous life also, so we were not just produced only from this life only, but we had a previous life. This is the continuation of the life that we had in the past. But it could be different things, a different kind of being, right? We could have been animal or other kind of beings in previous lives, and now we're human beings. And then after we die from this life, we're going to be born again as something. There's no guarantee that we're not going to be born as one of the squirrels in the backyard.
단다 보이나 마음발라 양주 붙여야다. 단다 부모이나 마음발라 부모 제게. 내가 말했어.
And so there's no certainty that what kind of birth we're going to be, what kind of rebirth we're going to have in the future. And if we are male now, it's not necessary that we're going to be born as male again. If we are female now, it's not going to be necessary that we'll be born as a female in our future life.
그래서 대용한테 다 수치거든. 다 소리에서 다 나도 나오면 다 소리지.
So if we don't have that freedom to choose what kind of rebirth we want to have, then what is it that determines or controls our rebirth in the future? That's basically our karma, our one actions.
아니 신지 젬페 제와나 내가 야보래 대지는 되어라 나도 야가용 그래서.
So if we do good thing, then we'll have a good rebirth. If we do bad things, we're going to have a bad rebirth. So if we practice good thoughts like loving kindness, compassion, and so forth, then we're going to have a good rebirth.
아니 간소 내차 셰당 공조 차도 전주 영화도 같은 제대로나 대 내가 야보 말이 된대올라 내가 누가 용 그래서.
So if we engage in negative actions, the harmful actions towards oneself or others, motivated by certain kind of delusions like attachment, anger, jealousy, ignorance, so forth, then it will be bad result or bad rebirth in the future.
근데 다 제가 중앙에서 되고 당가 제와시마 간지 봐주전이 조금 지우전이 조금 칠전이 조금 다
And so the small scope, the beings of the small scope, thinks about the future life, and especially the sufferings of the three lower realms, right? So there's unbearable sufferings in those three realms. I don't want to be born anywhere in three realms, in those the three lower realms. I don't want to be born as an animal, and like a cow, bird, and so forth, and therefore I'm going to do this practice. So some kind of beings, you see them, right? Tortured so much, as animals, right? So some kind of animals, they are cooked alive, right? Even before they die, they just put them in the boiling hot water and cook them alive. So that's a hell. So, but some believe that they don't have pain. They're created for us to consume. So that's what some people believe, and they don't have pain or feeling, but they do. The proof that they have feeling is because they struggle, right? So that shows that they have a feeling.
Okay,
so that's the lower realm, right? So going through a tremendous suffering like that, of being cooked alive, that is the hell. So like we think animals don't have freedom, right? According to Buddhism. And so if we compare these two rebirths, the human rebirth or the animal rebirth, and we will choose, right, to be born as a human being, not as an animal. But actually, when you compare human beings and animals, who create more problems, that is the human beings, right? The animals have less problems. So like the cats and dogs, and if they find the food that they want, then they are satisfied with that, and they lay down, calm and satisfied, right? So we are not satisfied easily, human beings, right? So we want to have more all the time. If we have one, we want to have two. If we want two, we want four. If we have four, we want 8. So ours wants to have more and more, and there's never end to our desire.
Right?
So if we have $1, we wish for 2. If we have 2, then 10. 10 will 100. If we have 100, then 1,000. If we have 1,000, maybe a couple of thousands, right? And then we want to have a car. And then if we have a car, we're not enough of that. We have more money, and then we want to have a house. We are not happy with the house. We have start a new business and so forth. So always thinking about more and more.
Right? It's true. We think more. We never think, oh, no, I'm not enough. Not enough. We never thought. This is our mind. What did you buy that takaro? Did I can give chungi said that's so Pabongka Jewa Jamala and it's in so much of the day so sometimes what do you
So anyway, the small scope is the being who wishes to be free from the suffering of the 3 lower realms and engages in the practice. So if we think about ourselves, ordinary beings like myself, we don't fit even as a practitioner of the small scope.
Right. Only we think about this life. Oh, I have this problem. I want to solve this problem.
So anyway, if we understand this first and then start to think about it, then we'll be able to develop that wish, that genuine wish, wanting to be free from the suffering of the lower realm, and always thinking about the future life and abandoning or forsaking this life. And so the small scope then thinks of, think about not being born in the lower realm and being born in the upper realm, and to have a good rebirth, to not have a bad rebirth, but to have a good rebirth. And then the small medium scope says, oh, even if I have a good rebirth as a human or a god or demigod, I'm still in cycle existence. I'll still have to go through sufferings. And then when I die from that state, again, there's no guarantee that I'm not going to be born in the lower realm. So there's no certainty in cycle existence, in the entire cycle existence. And so it is, it'll be rather better if I free myself completely from all the cycle existence. And that, with that thought, you engage in the practice. That's the practitioner of the medium scope. So what is cycle existence and what is bad about it? So the bad about cycle existence is that there's no freedom. So why is the freedom very important, right? Of course, we want to have the freedom, so that we not have to go through that suffering. And like in this country, we work very hard for that freedom, right?
We say always human rights, right? Like this kind of human right, human right like that,
and so the human right that we talk about in this country is different from the freedom that we're talking about in the Dharma. So the human right, the freedom that we have in this country, is different from the freedom that we're talking about, right? So right now, if there's nobody torturing us or exploiting us, then we think we're free, right? Are we free really?
Yeah, I'm free, right?
So we don't have the freedom from the old age, right? Even if we don't want to be old, we still grow old. Do we have a freedom from that? No.
Right? Believe?
We don't have the freedom, from not having the wrinkles on our forehead. So we still get them. And from the sickness as well. We don't want to be sick, but we fall sick sometimes.
Correct?
Or rather, a lot of the times we are sick, a lot of times. Very, very few times when we are not sick. Most of the time we are sick. Anyway, so one comes one after another. So if we overcome one sickness, then there comes another sickness. And if we overcome that, then there comes another sickness. Always something there. So if we have the complete freedom, then we will not be getting sick at all, because none of us wishes to be sick, right? So if you compare the number of the hospitals in the country, maybe America has the most number of hospitals. And then also, if you think about the busiest hospitals, maybe the American hospitals are the busiest hospitals. So if you make an appointment to see a physician, then it takes a long time, right? A couple of weeks at least. Not everybody is sick, but then they think maybe, oh, maybe I'm sick, or maybe I'll get sick, and that's why I want to go see the physician.
Right. Because we go to hospital, there are so many people. Of course, a lot of people sick. Many people also not sick. It's good one to go there, they can check about Today, Chidan Rodan order, Rawan may be Tayong was.
So this shows the lack of freedom. Is that true?
I don't go now, some of them. Allergy, are you guys allergy? Bad. I don't want allergy, government was, government was. In the court, this is in the court level, and they're all very bad allergy, you know.
We don't want it, but when the time comes, we have to go through that, right?
There's a round method to say, round method to think that choose the round method that does.
So that's the lacking of the freedom that we're talking about in the Dharma.
I think I know so trouble, Pama pinches, so cut time, Masavana cut out of us.
And then also we, separate from the loved ones, right? We get separated from the loved ones, like our parents, our friends, our family. So even if we don't want to be separated from them, but we have to be separated. That's because we don't have the freedom to, not to be separated. And also same with the thought of anger, right? So we don't have a wish to become angry. You don't think that, I want to become angry. Nobody thinks like that.
Right? We don't need to wish, right? Just come.
But we don't have control over it, right? We just become angry.
I'm not talking about you guys, okay? I'm talking about general. It's general? General, okay? I'm not talking about personal. That's correct?
Individual. So none of us will have this thought wanting to become angry or wanting to make somebody angry.
Yes, not. No, right? You say, I want to make my wife today get angry. No, I want to make my kids get angry. I want to make my friends get angry. No. We have no wish to make, but our action,
so because of our way of talking, our way of thinking, our way of doing the things, make others become angry. And therefore we don't have the freedom, right? The control. So the practitioner of the medium scope thinks, I don't want to be in this kind of place where there's no freedom. I want to be in a place where there's a complete freedom.
Then the Tazen,
so what makes us not have that freedom is the delusion and the karma.
This is the judge.
Judge.
Who's the judge? Put the people in jail. Judge, right?
Judge.
You go to judge. Judgment or judge? Judge. You go to there, someone says, you good, go that way. Someone, you have to go to jail. But he the person to decide. This is a Nanzo Rama Yosate the Mates Nanzo Leda Numo.
So it's our karma and delusion which decides where we're going to be born.
There is a Tendi Leda Numo te Kawayona, Nanzo Mishibani.
Again, where do this delusion and karma come from? They come from ignorance.
There is a Nanzo Chasangi. Le duache, leka duache, the Mishibi, Suzuni Yayim somewhere. The Mishibi Wangi, leka duachi, teen Revola, duayum was.
So all these things that we think, we're doing right, but actually it's not right. We're doing that out of ignorance, right? So we don't know that that's not right, but we think that's right, and then that's why we do it, and then it becomes a mistake. So that's because of ignorance. So even the person who shoots, right, not the policeman or the military person, but like the general people, who the casual general people who shoot, in their mind they think they're doing the right thing, the best thing. So they will not think, oh, this is a bad thing to do, but I'm going to do it. They don't think like that. So this is a good thing. This is the only solution. I see that now, and this is the best thing I can do now. So and that's why they do it. And of course, that's out of ignorance, right? It's completely ignorance. That is very easy for us to understand. And because of that, then they go through all the bad results. And some people also like commit suicide, right? Shoot themselves or hang themselves and so forth. Also, that person doesn't think that, oh, this is bad thing, but I'm going to do it. They don't think this is bad thing. They think, oh, this is the best solution I have now. I'm going to do it. This will kind of elevate me from this problem that I'm facing now. They think like that, and then they do that. What is the most valuable thing that we have is our life, right? There's nothing more valuable than our life. So if we go near the animals, like the birds, the squirrels, the animals, when we go near them, they fly away. Why? To protect their life. So that kind of most the valuable thing in their life, they take away. It's not because they want to. They say, "Oh, I had enough of this life. I'm going to end it now." It's not like that, right? And so they do that out of ignorance, not knowing that that will only bring bad results. So that is easier for us to understand, right? So that's the proof that we don't have freedom. And same with people who drink alcohol, who take drugs. Nobody knows. Nobody thinks, oh, this is bad, and I'm going to do it anyway. Nobody thinks like that. They say, oh, I feel so good after when I do it. Therefore, I'm going to do it. So they always think like that. So that's the lacking of the freedom, right? So not knowing that this will bring bad results, and they think that, but instead they think it's good result. Good thing to do. It's going to make you feel good, and so forth. And then they, then we engage in those actions. So as long as we have that ignorance, we are under control of that delusion, right? We don't have any freedom. So how do we end, or when we can, be free from that ignorance? So who can help us to cure that ignorance? Right? If we are sick, we can go to doctor, and doctor will give some medicine, and that can cure our disease. But what can get rid of, and help us to get rid of this ignorance? So no one else can do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. So in Buddhism, we call Buddha, and a Buddha is a teacher, right? Who teaches us, not somebody who created us, but somebody who teaches us the path, who says, okay, this is how you do it, this is how, the problem, and this is how you to overcome this problem. He teaches us, or he shows us the path. So Buddha teaches us and show us the path, but then again it's in our, in us to depend that depends, whether to choose that path or not. We have to think it ourselves whether this is the right path or not, right? Whether it makes sense or not. We have to choose it.
Example, you guys right now the knowledge is like just fully knowledge, right? fully, big knowledge. 당부처럼 시험에 와서 랍타라는 걸 개개개 랍지도 수수 장에 아니 시우저로 와서.
So all the knowledge that you have, the education, the knowledge that you have now, is not something somebody gave you, right? So you studied yourself, you learned, you practiced, you went to school, you studied, you did your homeworks and so forth, and that's how you got all these knowledges now.
된게 knowledge 되게 배치는 수수래가 제거든. 수수 다 남이 소도로 와서.
And so you use that knowledge or education, that knowledge, to do the work, and with that you can, help your families.
대나지 나주 로종체 체니 수 냠내 체고 그랬어. 냠내 체와이나 아니 수수도 다 그래. 다가 이너도 봐. 묘소도 그랬어.
So the studies that you went through, you put into practice, by doing the work, and which helps you to make money, look after your family, and so forth. So just like that, you have to study the Buddhism, the teachings of the Buddha, and then not just knowing them, but you have to put into practice. Right? So through putting in practice, then you will be able to end the suffering, the lack of freedom, and so forth.
다 가려면 심지어나 샹바고 그래. 이제 공부 그래서.
So knowledge we are given, is to meditate on loving kindness, compassion towards all beings. And to abandon 10 non-virtuous actions. And practice the 10 virtues, which is the opposite of non-virtues. So we're taught that the 10 non-virtuous actions are not good, and we should not engage in them. We're taught like that. But now it's our turn to engage in the practice of not engaging. Engage in the practice of not engaging in 10 non-virtuous actions. So let's say there's a big fire out there, and then if we jump into that fire, we will be burned, right? So while knowing it, if we jump into the fire, we'll really get burned. So just like that, whatever is being taught in the teachings, we have to understand that. We have to understand that and not engage in those actions. Now, if we do, while knowing it, if we engage in that action, then it will be just like knowing that you are, you're going to be burned or even toasted. You still jump into the fire.
Okay.
So non-10 non-virtuous action is the common practice of all the religions. And so not only the religions, even all the moralities, all the moral actions, right? So if we engage in any of these 10 non-virtuous actions, then we're going to suffer. We're going to have a bad result. Therefore, we should not engage in any of these 10 non-virtuous actions.
Okay?
So therefore, if we study, then we can clear these ignorances. So the ignorance, the only way to clear ignorance is by knowing it. So ignorance is not knowing, and how do we clear not knowing it? Is by knowing it. So people who know the situation will not make the mistake. So most of us here in this country especially always think that we know, we always know. So it's just like the habit that, it's a contagious habit maybe we got from each other, right? I know. And even if we don't know, we always tend to say, I know. Just because we don't want to be put down by others. So generally you know a lot, but there are so many things also that you don't know, right? But we still don't say, we don't say, I don't know. We always say, I know. And the worst is that, not practicing what we know. So just like, becoming angry, is not good. We all know that, but we still become angry. So that's so one thing is of course the habit, right? We have that habit of becoming angry easily. So when the situation arises, it becomes so easy. But then there's other delusions, right? Like ignorance, especially, which is at the back, pushing us to become angry. And so, not knowing the reality, not knowing the reality, and acting under the influence of the delusions, and we create all these problems in the whole world.
Right?
So therefore, studying is very, very important. Again, in order to study Buddhism, it's not necessary to be a Buddhist. So you can study all kind of religions, right? And see which one is beneficial for you, and then you just practice that. And then that's good for yourself, right? Doesn't have to be a religious person.
Okay?
Sometimes if you're a religious person, you have more problems. So, and also generally, there are lots of problems that come from the religion side, right?
And there is a Chulu said, Yamle Lacha, Peche Yambo Tahina, Pemizabla, Dunga Chazan said Tafides. And Chulu de La Peche Tangi, the Yabota Machina, that thing Dominic took to us.
So,
Chulu Kurang,
it's not the religion itself. The religion itself is good, right? Religion itself is good, but people who utilize that religion, who use that religion, if they use it in an improper way, then it can create a lot of problems, right? But if you use it in a proper way, then it can bring a lot of benefits also. So it's not the religion that's bad; it's the person who utilize that religion or who practice that religion is the one who's making all these differences. And then religion also become like a tool for many politicians
right.
In the world, in this world. So they use the religion to win their party, right? For their party to win, they use that. So of course, then the religion itself is not bad, but the people who use the religion are the bad ones. So it's just like the salt, is the a spice that goes with almost every kind of food, right? And most of the food, and it goes in most of the food. So the salt is the one that brings the taste in the food. And then again, it can be also salt, that ruins the taste of the food also, right? If you have too much salt, and if there's not enough salt, it will not be very tasty. If you have too much salt, you'll not be able to eat it. So it's not from the salt side, but people who use the salt, can make the difference. Same with the sugar, right? It makes the food or the drink sweet. So the sugar and sweet is good, but if it's too much, used, then it's not good again. Not good for the taste also, but not good for the health and everything. So it's, you have to use in moderation. So it's the person who use it, right? So same with the religion, how you use the religion.
Right? You need sugar. If you have too much sugar, you become diabetes. Like that, Usually religions, we should have religion. But the person have to really properly to use. Is correct? Like that. Okay, now we talk too much.
And so if we study well, then we can eliminate all these ignorance. So for you to become a computer engineer, you can't just become a computer engineer, you have to study, right? You have to learn all about the computer in order to become a computer engineer. The same with Buddhism. So if you want to get rid of the delusions and get rid of the ignorance, then you have to understand what are the delusions and how to get rid of them. So once you understood that, then you have to engage in the practice, actual practice, to eradicate them.
How do you think? It makes sense. You have to think, it's not easy to one time, especially you knew what they're talking about. That's not really. But study more, think of yourself, read the books, think of the reality, actions. Then, it makes sense, I have to follow like that. Like that. How much we can. Okay? Now we really go through the books, but
So, in order to practice at the medium scope, you have to go through the small scope practice. Without going through the small scope practice, there's no way you can engage in the medium scope. So that's why small scope path is not the path only for small scope, but it's also for the medium scope. That's why it says the stage of the path shared with medium small scope, right? Shared with small scope, or should be shared with medium and great scope. Training your mind in the stage of the path. That's of the small and shared with the medium and great scope. So same with the medium scope. And in order to practice the great scope's path, you have to go through the medium scope's path also. So without having gone through the medium scope's path, there's no way you can go straight into the great scope's path. And therefore, that path, the medium scope's path, is also a common path, common with the great scope. Not with the small scope, but with the great scope. So because it's practiced by the great scope as well.
Like same as if you have to go college, you need to high school degree, right? You have to go high school, you need to before high school.
Middle school.
Middle school. Like similar that. Begin our scap. If second, I like to go to college. Not study English down there. Anyway, okay, now any questions? More questions? Some very difficult questions. Good. Very deep. Yes.
You're talking about, we don't have time to practice. For me, it's not so much an issue of time of practice, it's just the energy to practice. It's like even if I go to sit at 9 o'clock at night, I want to go to sleep, So what kind of solution is there for lack of energy?
또 도바메는 먼저 지가 말아. 지단 것도 두세 명 말았어. 도바메 오다 그러다 이제.
Yeah, this is exactly. 그래서 간도 다는 냠내가 좋아되고 얘기 말아 되그랬어.
So maybe you have to have more the vitamin pills. Can you have energy? So it's not really the energy, right? It's the desire, it's the wish, wanting to practice, right? Thinking that, oh, I must practice, I should practice, And how much strong wish you have, that much you will be pushed to do the practice, right? So if you don't have a wish, and then of course that depends on how much you see, how important you see that practice is, and how beneficial it is for yourself, for others, and how invaluable it is. And so all these things, that makes you to do the practice. So you can call that energy or a wish. I would say that's a wish, wanting to practice. If we have time, but we don't know, oh, it's okay, I can do some other time. Laziness maybe, it's not, it's preventing you from doing the practice, things like that.
Vitamin C. Take more vitamin C. That they got them, but Yamli Yam Chedina. Also, Puzo game to the church out of the Tenor Chagres. Yamli Yam Chedin, cool money. Tigger. Some like Deva Trea than Kanji. Yamli think it so not to was.
To the calendar, so the calendar.
So the calendar, okay, but I saw that much and I didn't got to say anything.
And then also, of course, that's one thing, right? The wish is the very important thing. But then even if you have a wish, then other time you might say, oh, it's okay if I don't do it now, I can do it some other time, right? I will do it tomorrow, like that. But then for that, that's why we have the commitment. We call it daily commitment, right? So daily commitment really is good, for us, ordinary people like ourselves, to push, to do the practice, because that's our commitment. If I don't do it, I get negative karma, right? So I'm forced to do it now. So I'm doing it, right? So that way, that's like a force that pushes me to do that practice. So it's making a commitment. Yeah? So we take a commitment like by taking initiations, and then we have a commitment to do certain practice, and that we do every day. Yeah? Of course, some people don't care about that, but then there's nothing you can do really, right? But if you're someone who is scared of that, then taking commitment is really good.
Okay? Like effort. Yes.
Effort.
Yeah. Who's last? Okay.
We were talking earlier about our lack of freedom. We have freedom, we don't. And I wonder about if that is not actually a delusion as well, right? Because we do have freedom, we just don't recognize where it is. As long as we are thinking that we have to have control over the things outside of ourselves, then we don't have freedom. But in our reactions and realizing emptiness and realizing the reality of things, we do have freedom, and that is the preciousness of the human rebirth, if I'm correct. Is that a word?
그래, 다 라오 열었어, 맞더라. 저런 때 가서 라오 말스라. 다 라오 말스는 지단 가서 라오 열었어. 그래 가서 최저는 가서 라오 열었어. 가서 된 냠래 저 로전 제 라오 열었어. 안테 가서 소소기 때문에 맞아. 지단 다 라오 메스 그래서 자장 라오 메스가 말한 건데. 되게 고가 말다 그러고.
되게 말해. 그래서 제나 라와 열어도 있나요? 가서 묘목 컨트롤 제나 되게 라와 되게 말씀.
그래. 가셔가지고 가서 라오 열 말하다 배는 게도하다 시도하다 가서 라오 열.
라와 말해.
그래.
취지와 라와 말기 시작 말씀. 소주 맞제와 다양 삼지는 맞제와 말해. 묘목이 제와지네.
Yes, of course, we do have that kind of freedom, that's why, we call this perfect human rebirth as a precious human rebirth with the 8, leisures or freedoms and 10 endowments and so forth. So, yeah, we have that freedom to do practice. But again, there are some certain things, but we're still under the control of lack of freedoms, with certain things like the death, the old age, and if we don't do the practice, then we're going to be born in the lower realm, and we don't have the freedom to not to be born there. We lack that freedom. So that kind of things.
Okay. Yes.
You talked about a female being born, a female at one life and a male at another life, that kind of thing. You were saying you're not always the same sex when you're born to become a human again or whatever it might be. What happens when this transgender stuff happens, you know, a female turns to a male, and then what happens with that? What kind of karma would it make for the next human life or whatever, you know what I'm trying to ask?
That's what's over there. That lens jacket. Kodo joja yodro.
그래 저자들아. 포제 모든 저자지 다는 포제 뭐 생각하라.
I don't know exactly that. It's in.
I stumped you? No, because there's all this transgender stuff going on, and females are turning into males, and males are turning into females, and females, you know.
Yeah, they didn't want to wait for the next life.
You know,
They want to have it ready.
they were a male. It's probably an attachment thing, like.
No, think it this way: like if you are a female and you want to become a male, right? And you become male. Did you create the karma to become male? Of course you did, right? Otherwise you will not become a male, right?
Yeah.
So now you created the karma to be male,
Yeah.
and you become in this lifetime.
Yeah.
If you didn't become now, maybe you would have become in the next lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't have to go through that surgery.
Give me the condition.
Automatically, you will be born.
So they created to happen in this life.
Yes, yeah, they apply the condition. You know, the karma is there, the cause is there, the condition they applied in this life to become a male or female.
Okay, well, what about the, yeah, they do that condition and they change or whatever, but does it affect them like a negative in any way, or does it do anything for another rebirth or anything like that? Does it do?
되게 되네, 내 살이었어, 대체야 되게.
I don't know. 그걸 깨는 되고. 그냥 거기다 보고 제작도 보고. 깨는 내가 사서지.
나 보고 제약이 다 레지가로 하나서 저 샤워는 저는데 레사가 되게 되는 정말 개와 정말 그게 보고 개 레사시로. 되게 버져서 아시라서.
대나도 샤워는 남편은 항상 빼서 제다 지었어. 빼나 뭐데 보면 샤워야. 부재로 보고제로 그랬어. 근데 버지나 그 봉어라 차이나 배우시면 보고제로. 봉어제나 버려 차이나 배우시면 부재로 됐어.
So, you know, when we create a karma, we leave the imprint in our mind. The karma is the action, right? So you engage in the action, and then the action stops, but the imprint, you know, of that action is left in your mind. And that carries on in the future, and that is what is met with the condition and ripens into result. So what kind of karma do we create in order to be born as a male or female? Right? What determines? It's our desire. Right? So every time, like I see a beautiful girl, I say, "Oh, she's so beautiful," and like that. So I am creating karma or living imprint in my mind to have a female body. And then same with the male, right? So, oh, he's so handsome, like that, you know? And then you have a desire for that, and you leave an imprint in your mind. So that imprint builds up. It's like countless, you know, imprints like that in our mind all the time. So that's a desire, right? So in this case, it's the same, right? So you want to be a female, or you want to be a male, and then you create this karma. You're creating karma. You leave imprint in your mind to have that kind of gender again in the future.
아도 도스 라이어스 보면은 샤시고다 지도 들어서 야부체고 있으나 저는 잡아체고 말이야. 잡아제는 대체 레사가 나 그랬어.
So again, you know, loving and attaching. You know? So you have to be nice to the animals, and dogs, cats, like especially the pets that we keep. We have to be nice with them. We have to be nice, loving kind of. We have to love them, care about them, but should not be attached to them. So if we are attached to them, then we are living imprint in our mind to be born as them. And so a person who is about to die and he thinks about a nice horse, nice dog, like that, and then he creates a karma. So he in the triggers, you know, the karma or imprint, you know, of the karma to be born as a dog, and then in the immediate future life he'll be born as a dog.
In the third form of your birth, the third form, would it be possible to imagine that the third form is the one
Thought form?
the thought form.
Thought form.
I would imagine that this conversation would not
Yeah.
happen without the thought form of the consequences of the karma and the imprint of what you call the wishes and the desire. I think it's two different consequences, wishes, desires. So would it be possible that the thought forms are the one that creates our birth, and
Yes.
but that I have to understand today's teaching from there must be an inner point in that thought form to have the capacity and the desire or the wish, maybe in the fulfillment of our incarnation, that life is very precious, very precious. It's very clear from this teaching today that there is no one out there if you're not in there. I am that I am. So this inner point, this inner power of that thought form to clean up in the Dharma, clean, or whatever thought form we have created, female, male, female, whatever. We are beyond gender. I mean, I've always believed that as a child. So the nature of our reaction into our lessons and the reflection into the thought form of our birth is very profound, because I understand from this teaching, I don't want to be locked in. What I feel deeply about the freedom, I don't want to be locked into a place where we are given the intelligence, we are given the choices to see clearly that thought form, but to really access this memory, which was a topic I've asked Geshe many times about how do you erase this karma with full consciousness, with fullness of who you are. We are in a melting pot of humans, we have the lobster, we have this one, so they're all thought forms of our karma. But I have to believe in my heart, deeply profoundly in my heart, that there is an inner point of freedom. I really believe that. I was told that this great Lama from Prescott, he has a big center, I believe. He was 20 years in prison, and when we had a visitor here of a very high Rinpoche here, the same thing. So the teaching of the human life of the Buddhism, and I really appreciate what Geshe said, you don't have to be a Buddhist to really study Buddhism. So all this karma, I have to trust that we can free ourselves of all these delusions, that we can free ourselves of those thought forms. So the good and the bad is good in the end, when all is said and done. So if you don't have awakened mind, I believe that Buddha is awakened. Buddha is awakened. So the heart has to be awakened and meet those thought forms that we have created from many lives, of what you call the ignorance. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time to come to that inner point.
Three countless great eons.
Excuse me?
3 countless great eons. That's how long it takes.
Eons.
Eons.
But it could also happen in one fraction of a second if you don't get yourself
mean to
locked
become
in,
awakened?
being a female, being a male, or I'm a chauffeur, or I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm this, I'm that. I pay attention. Right at this time in my life, it feels to me that the first step I can make for myself in this understanding, not just solution, understanding. And if somebody like me, great. If they don't find too, because I'm the one who is going to have to step out of this body from the thought form that I created and have hopefully moved from the hell realm. I don't want to think back things. So I have to believe in my heart, living this teaching this morning, that I have a freedom. But sometimes you don't understand the large
Yes.
karma we born for.
No, Geshe was telling about the lack of freedom that we're talking about, just like Dalai asked, about. We don't have a freedom to not die. Can you not die?
I believe that you can die in the physicality of
Yeah, of
the
course,
earth.
that's what we meant.
But the
Do we have a freedom not to get sick? No. Can we have freedom not to get old?
Well, we choose.
Is there anybody who has not gotten old?
Well, we have chosen a physicality.
That's right, that's what I mean.
The preciousness of life. I mean, even Dalai Lama, I believe, goes through many, many layers. Like
Yeah.
if I was do research on the Tibetan people, of my experience and of my observation, there's a lot of problem here. The food, whatever is the food, because if you're in the Himalaya, you're not going to eat what I ate when I was a child.
People in the Himalaya also get old.
Of course, no, but yeah, no, I'm not talking about the
Yes.
old. I believe you can transcend too, even if your body is an envelope that you can step out from. But so that, I like what Geshe offered today about the nature of his karma and samsara. I believe you said the whole existence. So suddenly it makes this moment very, very precious. Because it's both, it's three at once. The past, the future, and the now time. It's right here. But this body, we look in the mirror and say, I'm not this body, I am this body, but I'm not this body, right? So there's a freedom that I believe we are given that freedom, even though we have karma, samsara, but you have to recognize it. Your samsara is not easy always to see it. Why am I born in Africa? Why am I in America now? Why do I go to this place? We are now in this wonderful...
It's the karma who decides, not us. We don't have the freedom.
From the past life.
Exactly.
From the beginningless of time, of the...
Yeah.
I'm trying to apply it. I don't want to just live like, okay, intellectually.
Thinking more.
Huh?
Thinking more. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Your question?
Oh, yes. Getting back to the motivation
Yes.
question, I'm not very religious, so I've kind of avoided like initiations. But are there any other practical ways to have a daily practice?
Of course.
Or are there like minor initiations that are? I know it's kind of
Yeah.
a silly question.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to comment, you don't need to take initiations.
Yeah, are there any other practical ways to motivate myself? I know like doing it in the morning is good.
그래서 먼저 쉬셔야 되더라.
Meditating.
다 소소 있다 개변대 하고 보면 지그라. 개변 하면 지금마다. 다이는 가서 있다 지금 켈레디는 그런 거야. 우주 연직 제주구라. 켈레면은 가르쳐 버렸어. 그러다 뒤에 소소 개변대 하고는 제그랬어. 딜라션이라.
야, 네 저런 기로로 제거할 때네 개변하고 펜트하고는 네 대부분도 제한 수 개변
So yeah, I was talking about the commitment.
Yeah.
For me personally, that's one thing that makes me to do it, right? If because I'm commitment, I will do it anyway, no matter what. Even if it's in the middle of the night, I will wake up and do it. So that's my way. But I mean, of course, that's one thing about the commitment is that it makes you to do because you are committed to do it. You made a promise. If you don't do it, then you feel bad about yourself and you're breaking your promise. So it's not good, right? So that's why we do it. But that's one way one is. The best way is to know the benefits. If you know the benefits, then you will do it. So if you don't know the benefits enough, then you will not do it. Oh yes, it's very beneficial.
Yeah,
Therefore, I want to do it. Energy, you'll get the energy right there when you see the benefit. If you don't see the benefits, you will not do it. So first, in order to see the benefit, then you have to understand it. How it's very good and so forth. When you see that, when you understand that, and you see the benefit, then you will do it.
지난기 쇼게 다바야는 존나 까마 주장을 잡아다 이제 거기서 잡아 이제 그거 왜 저렇게 너무 생각하지.
And in the morning, when you wake up or after you're refreshing, you can just meditate on loving kindness, compassion towards all beings, and you just try to do that. Try to do that every day. You don't have to make a commitment yourself. You don't have to take initiation to do that. You can say, I'm going to do this. You just make the commitment yourself, or you think, oh, it's very good to do, therefore I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not a religious thing also. It's not a religious, you don't have to be a religious person to do that.
And then I should go out that telling up we are waiting is, well, a pen can't hold it, come out the kiss. On the telegram, I tell you, or over some million to Vajana, the 3 hours of the sun. Come with the chair.
So you can say also in the morning, today I'm going to be as best I can, to not cause any problem for others, and not to harm others, and help them as much as possible. And then in the evening you come back and then you check your thoughts and actions that you did during that day, and see what you have done wrong, what you have done good. If you have done good, then you say, oh, that's very good, pat yourself, and say, oh, nice, carry on.
Thank you.
If you see something bad you have done, and say, oh, I should not have done that. So tomorrow I'll try my best not to do that particular thing, like that.
Okay, this is a commandment. Therefore, we have to initiations. Okay, if you like to command like something religion things, you can say every day 100 times. Or month or 1 mala, if you like.
Reciting mantra, have you done that?
Yeah, I try to do that.
Yeah, so if you want, it's not nothing commitment, but if you want to do it, then you can try to do it.
Okay? It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now we stop. Now chanting master's job.
Please turn to page 39 of the prayer book. Saji Peki Junshi Meto Tramri Rabling Ji Ni Padi Sangye Jingdu Meteoa Gidrokunamda Jingla Shoparsho Jesu Mame Kucherabten Shing Nam Katrinle Chotuge Padam Lobsan Tempe Drume Sapsum Hidroe Munzel Tatune Gushi Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kamner Yatayami. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I have amassed from working effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Benjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness for the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. in that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy. May Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Reizig remain in life till samsara's end. Page 49, short long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tup sun chan sing jam gun gelwei tenzin yom pelwei gunzo do ko ze chong sung kuwe le mun tu dru pa dang zo do je gun du jab ten sho. Page 57. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where I'm born arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75. Mimet sewe te chen chen reizig dream kempe wang po jam pel yang gang chen kepe Urgyen Tsongkhapa lop sang drape zabla soa dev. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Geshe. Thank you, Damcho. We have coming up, we've finished Sakadawa, so there's a lot of effort, things wrapping up. Thank you very much to everyone who helped with that. Then the next thing up is June 19th. We've got lobster liberation in the afternoon. Still getting final times in terms of the boat, but that's keep the date that afternoon. In the morning, we will be, Geshe has kindly accepted to offer refuge. And so June 19th in the morning, there's, if you need any information, if you're interested, just talk with me and I'll help with Kimber kindly get a meeting set up. And that's pretty much it. Low-key at this point in time. Stop me if I have any questions. And oh yeah, Walter, who used to be at the center, who used to live in the center for a while, he passed away suddenly this past week. His wake is in Chelsea this coming Wednesday. It's in the newsletter, the details of that. So also stop me if you have any questions. Great. And then, what Kimmer kindly asked, we need to carry up the Tangyur up to Tengyur. Okay.
This is one hand I'm going to give you job. Second hand, I want to make you guys some merit. You know, the text, if you touch, teach, reading, the merit is cheap enlightenment. The merit is only Buddha explained, Buddha knows. You know, King prays, you know, not doubt. Therefore, if you guys not read the Tibetan, you cannot teach the text, but you can touch. Therefore, on one hand, I'm going to give job to carry upstairs. Second is not really job. I'm going to make you guys also some merit. Okay? Bring maybe 4 or 5 each one, just laying up upstairs. Okay? This great time you can touch only. And then maybe push it like you will read Tibetan. Okay? Thank you.
Is there a particular way to hold it? Do we have it like this?
Yeah, like this.
Oh, okay.
Someone can, I can show you.